and something screen share hide moment meaning. Is my voice clear?
Yes.
Okay, great. Mm, great. So first, okay, first thing, uh, I wanted to discuss a couple of things. Like let me, okay, these two. Let me post these two. Okay. In interviews, especially when you go into JavaScript interviews, these are the most common. I mean, these are the most common questions that might be asked in interviews. Okay, so I just wanted to discuss like one being difference between null and undefined, where undefined is a variable where a value has not been assigned. Okay, a value has not been assigned, which is automatically done from the JavaScript itself. I mean, it is done from the JavaScript itself. Okay, and null is a variable intentionally set to no value. Okay, so here in undefined it is declared, okay, but has not been assigned a value, whereas null is intentionally set to no value. Okay, this is done by JavaScript. I mean, JavaScript automatically does this on the backend. Null, where we intentionally set to no value, is done by the developer. Is done by the developer. So that is the difference. I mean, undefined, it also has no value, has been not assigned any value, but it is done from the JavaScript itself. And null is also intentionally we don't give a value, which is done by the developer. Okay, not JavaScript developers, our own project developers. Okay, that is the difference. And what is the difference between equals to and triple equals to? We discussed this, right? Like, uh, if we have, let's say, let uh, z x, okay, let me go with x equals to 9, okay, and let y equals to 9, okay. Here, now this data type is a number, and this is a string. This is a string data type.
String.
Yeah. Now let me go ahead and comment this. Now let me do one thing. Console.log x. Okay, I'm using here only double equals to and say y. Then again I'll use the triple equals to here. Okay, I'll use the triple equals to. Now see what will be the output. Okay, difference. Oh, sorry, I need to comment this. Okay, see, it says true here and it says false here. So that is the major difference. Here, it is not checking the data type. It only checks the value. Okay, this is 9, this is 9. So that is the reason it gives an output as true. But here, it strictly, I mean, this strictly checks, strictly equals to. Okay, this checks the value as well as the data type. Okay, here the data type is string, here the data type is number. Both have the same values, both have the same values, but the data types are different. That is the reason it is throwing as false. So we that is why in JavaScript it is always recommended to use triple equals to and not double equals to, not double equals. Okay, so these two are the major interview questions that might be asked. Okay, so I wanted to discuss about this too. Okay, and undefined is automatically set by the JavaScript. Okay, automatically set by the JavaScript, where it has been assigned with no value. Okay, and null is intentionally set by our own project developers with no value. Okay, so these two are the ones. Now yesterday, I think Swati asked one thing. Let me copy that too. Okay, here we have an object. inside an array. Okay, sorry, object inside, yeah, object inside an array, and that array is present inside an object. So we wanted to print only the values, only the values that are present inside an array, which doesn't have a name. I mean, we haven't provided any variable name to this array. So how can we do that? We can also use the same for in loop. First, what we will be doing here is, first we will be, let me copy this. Okay, okay, copy, and let me paste it in here, console.log, and here I will be pasting this. Let me comment this as for now. Okay, here I'm printing the object. Okay, the object is printed here. I mean, the object that is present inside an array. How we went into an array, how we access this object is with person1 dot social profiles, social profiles, which is a fourth type. The index of this type is 4, and in here the the object index is 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so 4, which printed the complete object for us. Now, as we have this, um, what they say, have this path with us, now we can go ahead and use for in loop in order to get the values, only the values for present in that object. How? Let me uncomment this. So we use a temporary variable. We can use anything. We can use anything in here, or I can say temp as well. We name the temporary variable. Okay, and I'll change it here too. Okay. Then we place that complete access of object. I mean the path of the object in here, because this is where we need to get the values. This is where our object is present. So now what we will do in, we will use for in loop, and we will create a temporary variable, and then inside curly braces we go ahead and use this, I mean, the key and the value, I mean the temporary variable where the values are stored, that is placed in here. I mean, from here, from this object, the value is taken and stored in temp variable. Then again the second value is taken and stored in temp variable, and it will print it. It will go ahead and print that in the output. Once all the values are taken and printed, then it will end this for in loop. So let me run this. See, it printed all the values. So this is how, I mean, first we need to navigate to that path where exactly that our object is present, which is an anonymous object, because this object doesn't have a name. Like this object we gave a name as person1, but for this object we don't have a name, we only have the key, so using the key, first the parent name, and then the key and the index, we get the object, we go to the object. Now using the complete path, we use the complete path in for in loop and use this syntax, whereas first the path, then in square brackets we use a temp variable, in order to get the keys. Same as, if I want to get the values of this one, I can use the same thing as we did yesterday. For like let uh, let it's not for let, here I give check as temporary, anything, I'll name anything in here. Then I'll give the object name here, variable name, and then in here I'll print this. What I need to do here, I should remove this complete thing, because I want the person one object values, not uh, the values that are present in an array. I want the complete values. Okay. If I print this, see, I got everything which starts from John. So John Doe 30. So these are only the values. These are only the values, not the keys. So same way, if we have an object inside an array, so first navigate to that path and use that path with the temporary variable and print it so that it prints the expected output. Okay. So this is what uh, I mean. This is how you can access the values that
Ashish,
are present.
Ashish,
Yeah.
I have one more question. See,
Hmm.
suppose there is a fourth index, right? In a fourth index, there is a so many values. So,
Hmm.
if I want to take any particular value, then how we will get it?
If I want to get the particular, let's say if you want only this value, right, or this value, right?
Yes, suppose I want just email, right? So, uh, what should we need to pass? Like, four is an index, right? And after that, there is a zero
Mm.
and one. So, we need to pass four and one.
No, 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 no. Okay. This was actually okay. This now let me comment this. Okay, and let me run this. Okay. Now you just want this value or this value or this value, right? Okay, this value. Only one value, right? So what you need to do is first you need to go to that path. Okay. Then give a dot, then give the key name here. Just give the key name. Okay. It will print it will only one value, the one which you want. This is what your query was, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is how you can access. Actually we discussed this yesterday in the session, but yeah.
Oh,
So
actually, I missed
no, no,
yesterday's
no, it's
session and as
complete.
well as Monday's session, so I did not get it.
No, no worries, no worries. Okay. So this is how you can access it. And if you want to access this email, okay, for
Hmm.
this, you should not use dot notation. For this, you need to use square brackets. I mean, square brackets in here. You need to put the complete email in here. Why? Because we have a special symbol, minus symbol in here. That is the reason we use square bracket notation.
Okay,
Okay.
and if I want to use height, so it is not required square bracket, right?
No, not required, not required. Just put
Okay.
dot height. Okay.
And if I want to access with index, is it possible? Like a full name index is four, right? So we
Hmm.
will put four
Hmm.
in one square bracket, and after that, if I want to access email, right? So again, I will put in a square bracket like a zero and one index. Is it possible?
No, no, no. See, square bracket represents array. Flower bracket represents object. So, in order to access an object, we need to use either dot notation or square bracket. I mean, if there is any special symbol, then we use a square bracket. We cannot use an index. I mean, we cannot say in this way, for square bracket 2. We cannot do in this way. I mean, this will not work because this this is an
Okay,
object.
okay, okay, got it. This
Okay.
is object because
Yeah.
I just remember that we have used that
Yes.
array with the index, right? So, like,
Yes, that is for nested arrays. That is for nested
okay,
arrays. When you have an
Mhm.
array inside an array,
Yes,
that is where you
yes,
use. But here we have
it's a
object.
flower.
Yeah, object
Mm-hmm.
inside an array. So we need
Mm-hmm.
to go with dot notation. Need to go with dot
Okay,
notation. Or
got it.
if there is any special symbol, then go with this one, square brackets. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the thing. Now, today we will be discussing about functions, but I mean, I have some urgent work, but still, there are some
Ashish, can I
things. Yeah,
ask you one thing? That
yes.
in Monday and Tuesday, what concept have you covered? Uh,
Uh, Monday, what did I cover? Monday, I covered how to, how to work on Visual Studio Code, uh, how to access a JavaScript, how to run and execute JavaScript code on Visual Studio Code, the IDE. And yesterday I covered objects, objects and nested objects, and how to access, how to manipulate data on inside an objects.
Okay. So I saw your message that like a Monday session you have put in a group, right?
Yes,
But
yesterday's.
yesterday,
No,
okay,
I haven't. I have to. I will. Tonight I will do it. Tonight or tomorrow morning I will do it.
okay,
Okay. Sure. And these are the interview questions. Difference between null and undefined, and difference between equals to, I mean double equals to and triple equals to, and why we need to use triple equals to. Like famous interview questions when it comes to JavaScript. So just go through them, and let me close this. Now we will
so
come to
have you covered these both question in that session as well?
today. Today I have covered it.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
today I have covered it. Okay,
okay.
now we will be coming to functions. Okay, now let me go ahead and take this. Okay, only take this. And okay, so why exactly we need to create a function? Why exactly we need to create a function? Okay, the reason is, let's say we are having breakfast. Okay, we are having breakfast on a daily basis. Okay, so we are repeating ourselves. So when we are repeating something, it's not required to write let's say someone wanted you to write a code for breakfast, having breakfast on 7 days in a week. So what you will do, you will go ahead and write the breakfast code. I'm having breakfast code on daily basis, I mean on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, right? What it will do is, like, you are repeating yourself, and also you're giving a lot of effort which is not required. And also it's like eating up a lot of memory in your system, eating up a lot of memory in your system. So methods are especially designed so that we should not repeat ourselves. We should not repeat ourselves. Once we created, okay, I'm having breakfast, once the method is created, then we should use that method all the time whenever required. I mean, we should not write the code again for and I'm having the breakfast, but we should use that method wherever required. So we will come to that, how we can do that. Okay, first we have a dry principle, which means do not repeat yourself. This is same for every programming says the same thing. Wherever it's for developers, it's for testers, everyone, do not repeat yourself. I mean, once you have written some code, and if that code, the same lines of code, same logic, same program can be used anywhere else, so do not write it once again. If you have written a code to add two numbers and somewhere in later in your code you want that same concept to be used, then use the use the one which you have already written. Take that one and use it in here, I mean in the latest stage, but do not write the code once again. So how we can do that? Using a function. We can say function, we can say method, anything is fine. Okay, we can say function or method, that is completely fine. Now, how can we create a function? How can we create a function, and how can we use that function anywhere in our code, okay? First, that what I'm doing is, let me comment this. Okay, so how can we create a function? We can create a function using a function keyword. First we will type function, then give a space, then we can name the function anything that you want. Anything, you can name the function anything that you want, but make sure that your function starts with lowercase. Your function name starts with lowercase. Then you give parenthesis. Okay, and then you give flower brackets. In this flower brackets your code, your logic, your eh, whatever you want to make that function work, make that function task work, okay, or that method wants to do, that you will be writing in this curly braces. Okay, now I have one thing here. uh, okay, let arr equals to okay, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, and then we say console dot log arr dot sort. Okay, actually we don't do we don't do this integers in using this sort method, but still, just an example. Now here, this dot sort parenthesis, is this a method or is it a method or not?
Yes, it is.
It is, right? So this is an inbuilt method. This is an inbuilt method which is created by the JavaScript developers. Okay, JavaScript developers they created this method and gave us to use it. So we need not to write this sort method once again. We need not to write the code for sorting the numbers. So we can go ahead and use this dot sort method from the JavaScript library, from the JavaScript package, or from the JavaScript uh, you know bundle. We can say bundle. We can get this dot sort method and then we can use it. Okay, we can go ahead and use it. Same way, console dot log. What do you, do you think this dot log is also a method?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So dot log is also a inbuilt JavaScript method where the work of this method is whatever is written inside this parenthesis, whatever is written, printed to the output, printed to the output. Now, same way, let me do one thing. Let me give mm, mm, John mm, Devin, Sander. Okay. Yeah, so here we can sort it. Okay, this is how you can sort. Inbuilt method of sort which is provided by the JavaScript, and dot log also is an inbuilt method provided by the JavaScript, so that we need not to rewrite code, print something to the output. Now this is inbuilt methods. Inbuilt method, we can say this is as inbuilt methods. Now we can also create our own methods. We can also create our own methods. That is called as, what it is called as, user defined methods. We define it, user defined methods. Like same in Java we have, right? If we go to Java, then system dot out dot print ln here, which is a method, which is a method.
Println.
Yes, so this is an inbuilt
Println.
method, right? This is an inbuilt method. We haven't written it. We are taking it from the Java util library. We are taking it from the
Yes.
yes. So this is an inbuilt method. But how do we write? How do we write a user-defined method in Java? Like we do give a return type.
So
If it doesn't
void
return anything, then we say we give a method name. Okay, I can say name, and then give parenthesis, and then we give
parenthesis,
curly braces.
curly
And here,
braces.
yeah, the code comes. Code is written. Okay, so this, what is this? This is this is this is an user defined method. This is an user defined method. We created it. We created
Yes.
it, not Java has created it. So same way in JavaScript also, this is an inbuilt method, and this is user defined method. User defined method. Now first we give a function as a keyword, then give a space. Then here in Java we give a return type. We give a return type.
Yes,
We
we
can,
give a return type for void, and here we have to give a function.
yes, just function as a keyword, then name, anything, and then parenthesis. Then in the curly braces you write your code. Now this is
Then
creation. Uh,
if we are not putting any code inside this function, then what is the return type for this function in
it's still
JavaScript?
function. It is still function. If we haven't written anything as well, if we haven't written anything as well, still we will be using function keyword only.
And read, okay, function keyword and okay.
Then when we run this, okay, something printed. Okay, this I printed it. Let me comment this on. See, nothing printed because there is nothing in the uh, method. We haven't written anything in the method, so that is the reason it printed blank. So now let me uncomment this. So this is the creation part. This is a creation part. Now how we can call it, how we can use that method, how we can use that method, just by using the name of the function and then the parenthesis, then the semicolon. That is all you do. I mean, just copy this complete part, then give us semicolon. Then when you run it, so now you can use this function n number of times wherever you want it. Wherever you want it, you can use this function because this function is already written. It's already written. So you can use this function n number of times and in n number of places. Wherever you want, you can use this function. Okay. But in JavaScript, sorry, in Java, if you want to use, uh, can someone mute yourself? I think,
Sup-
yeah, yeah. Thank you. And sorry, someone was asking any question?
Yes, I'm asking. Suppose there is a one class, right? And we are written this function in one class, and
Hmm,
after that, I want to use in another class
hmm,
or another package. So how we
hmm.
can retrieve this function to another package or class?
Yes, yes, that is object-oriented programming that you're talking about. And to be honest, I'm not covering object-oriented programming here. The reason being, in Postman, in Postman, there is no concept of class, there is no concept of polymorphism, there is no concept of encapsulation, no concept of inheritance or interface. There's no concept at all. We
But if
only
I
use
want to use this function in another class also, it's not
yeah,
required, right?
we don't create classes at all in Postman. We don't create
Oh,
classes at
okay,
all. There's no concept
okay,
of class. There's no concept of actually there's no concept of object oriented programming in when you're doing a Postman script. Only the only thing that you will be using is function and objects. Only these are the two things. But yes, when it
okay,
comes when it comes to playwright, that is where you will be using object oriented programming.
okay,
That is
got it.
where object oriented programming comes into picture.
Hmm.
So that is the reason, yeah, I cleared it up stating that we will be not using object oriented programming because that is not
Yes,
required.
yes,
Yeah,
I know, but
yeah.
I thought in this programming language we have to use in different class or something. So how can we
Mm,
do that
no,
one?
yeah, I understand, I got your point. uh, but sorry, we don't create classes at all. We don't create classes.
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, got it.
but yes, if at any point of time if I cover this playwright thing, then yeah, I'll be covering the object oriented programming over there. And the one
Yeah,
thing,
thank you so much. You are
yeah, you're
like
welcome.
at least you are thinking about it.
You're welcome. Uh, okay. So here in JavaScript, it's just we call the name of the function and with the parenthesis and semicolon. But in Java, this in Java, what we do, we create an object, and with the object, we go ahead and call that function, right? This is how we do it in
Yes,
Java. But
yes.
we
Yes.
don't require. Why exactly we don't require this object thing? Okay, why now my question is why don't we require this object creation to call the method? Because we don't have class
Because we
concept
have
here.
mentioned, yes, yes,
We don't
only
have
function,
class
yes.
concept. So it's only the function that we are creating and we are calling the function. So that is why we can directly call the function. Okay, same here. And this is okay, let me this is an inbuilt, let me give some space. Okay, and let me uncomment this and let me comment this. Okay, same here. what I did, I create a function named as Ashish, and I have written some code in here. And what I did, I called that function. I called that function. When I call it, then it prints output. So this is a way where you can create a function and call a function. Creating function is just function keyword, then name of the function, parenthesis, and then this curly braces. Inside this, you will be writing your code. And then calling is just name of the method, then parenthesis, then semicolon. This is one way of creating a function in JavaScript. Understood?
Yes, Ashish.
Okay, great. Anyone has any questions? Okay. Now, now we will be using, okay, let me go ahead and copy this too. Okay. We all know that in parentheses we can use the parameters, we can write our parameters, okay, and we have seen it in many array methods and string methods, where if I want to let's say, let str1 equal to um, hello, okay, and then let str2 equal to Monday, okay. Now, can anyone remember how can I concat these two strings? Not with the plus operator, not with the plus operator, but how can I concat using a string method? How can I concat using a string method? Anyone?
With the help of backtick what
No, no,
we
no, no, not backticks and not the plus operator. There is a method. There is a method to concat two strings.
concat.
Concat method.
Yeah. Okay. So it's console.log. Then in here, str1 dot concat. So what we are doing here, we are in the concat method, we are passing one parameter. We are passing one parameter. Okay. What this does, this will concat two strings. Okay. This will concat two strings. So in this method, we are passing one input. We are passing one input. And this is an inbuilt method, right? This is an inbuilt method from JavaScript. Now,
Yes, yes.
the same thing when we are creating our own methods, we can also pass, we can also pass arguments or give inputs so that we can use that later in our code. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me comment this. What I'm doing here is I'm creating a function, giving it name, and inside the parenthesis, I'm saying I want the num. I mean, that's a name. It's just I'm giving a random name to my parameter. I'm just giving a name to my anything. You can name anything. Now what I'm doing, I want this num. Okay, I want this num to be multiplied. I mean, it should be squared. It should be squared. So that is what I have written here. So what we need to pass in here, if we are multiplying something, then we should pass a number, right? If we are multiply, because we cannot multiply two strings, we cannot multiply two boolean values, we cannot multiply a null, or we cannot multiply undefined. So we cannot multiply these things. We can only multiply the numbers. It might be a whole number, uh, or a decimal number, anything we will be multiplying them. So that is what I have written here. Now when I'm calling the method, I'm passing some number here. What it does, it will print and give us the output. Now I can also pass in this way. If I want to multiply two pi values, okay, I can say here, I can name this as pi, and I can give here pi, and then again pi, okay, and then run it. See, it gave us the when we multiply one pi with another pi value, this is the value. So this is how you can use a parameter for a user defined method, and you can call them. Now the same thing what I did is for principle of interest. Principle of interest, I've used the same here, where I have passed multiple parameters. Okay, one being p, I named something. Okay, this is principle of interest, and rate of interest, and this is a time. Okay, so here inside inside the curly braces, I've written the logic. I've written the logic. What logic it is? Let result, because I want that principle of interest to be calculated and placed it in one variable. I want to place it in one variable. So what I did, I created one variable inside, and then I written the principle of interest formula. Okay, where I have used all these three parameters. All these three parameters, I've used it and divided by 100. Then I went ahead and printed the uh, result. Now we have done the task, we have created a function. But how can we use this function? How can we use this function? By just calling the function. So what I did here is, as we will be getting the value when we pass these parameters, it will calculate all these three and divides by 100, and it will go ahead and give us the value. That value I have stored it in a different variable. Stored it in a different variable, and then I printed that variable. So let's run this. Okay, there's something. Hmm, I think. Oh, okay. What does it? Something wrong. Undefined. It should not throw an undefined. Hmm. If I comment this. Okay, still it is throwing an undefined. Okay, I think what I need to do is. Hmm. If I comment this, then it will not throw an undefined because the answer is not printed output. Hmm. I think there is something related to the scope. Related to scope, there is an issue with the scope. Okay, I'll look into this. But this is how. This is. Then I don't need this. Let this also. I don't need this. I can directly print this. Hmm. So this is how. I'll look into that. Why exactly it is throwing undefined. It should not throw an undefined, but it is throwing an undefined as an output when we try to print this answer thing. So I'll look into this. But this is how, when you use you can also use multiple parameters, and then you can write the logic inside the function, and you can give the values in here, values in here, and then you can work it out. Same, this is what I have given for. Here we are not defining, is this a number, or is this a string, or this is a boolean value or null. Everything, once we have given the parameters in here, is this a number or a string or a boolean, that logic is written inside this code. That logic is written inside this code. Like, now tell me, uh, if I want to use two parameters, and then I want to print my full name, then how can I do that? Can someone help me with that? Okay, I'll write function as a keyword. uh, Function, and then I'll say something. Name, I'll say
Name.
name. Okay, let me give, it's not used, right? Okay, name, then I give a parenthesis, then I give
Curly
curly
bracket,
braces.
curly
Okay,
bracket, right?
and then also I'll go ahead and call this method. Now tell me, how can I use two parameters, and how can I write the logic so that it will print my full name? Where should I use two parameters, and what will be those parameters?
like first name and last name.
Okay, where should I write those?
Name, in the parenthesis we have to
Mhm.
pass that first name, comma,
Monolithic. Comma.
last name.
Last name.
Okay, perfect. Now, what will be the logic? How can
We
I?
have to.
Let full name
Okay.
Okay, let full name. Then,
equals to
hmm, 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 equals to
first name plus last name.
correct. First name plus. Then I'll give some space so that it gives a space between last name and then last name. Okay. Ah, done. Is the logic done?
Uh, then console.log.
Perfect.
No, no,
Console
no.
dot. Yes, yes, correct, correct. Console dot log.
Okay.
My here
On full name.
my full name is then space then concatenate with the variable. And what should I write in here in name?
Ashish and
Yeah,
comma Naidu.
correct. Ashish and Naidu. Is this correct?
Yes, it is.
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone. Sure. Okay. Let me run this and see you the output. Okay. Mhm. It is throwing an error. Why?
Because Arsis is a string.
Correct. We need to place them inside single or double quotes
Double quote.
because we are passing a string, not a number or not a boolean or not undefined. Perfect. Now it will see. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah, this is how a function is created and logic is written and we call a function, and we can use single parameter or double parameters, and then while calling the function we can provide the parameter values. If it is a number or a boolean, then we don't need a single or double quotes or null, or we don't use null and undefined. But if it is a string, then always place them in the single or double quotes or backticks. Anything is fine. Okay. Are we good till here?
Yes, Ashish.
Great. So actually, I need to go for something urgent work. So we will be stopping it here today, and we will be continuing the same function topic tomorrow as well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Great. So any questions, any doubts, anything?
No.
Okay. Great. Okay. Thank you everyone, and have a lovely evening, lovely day. You all.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ashish.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.